YouTube, welcome back to another video where we're going to talk about what is the best training split. Okay, what training split should you be doing? Okay, because everyone's training split should look different. Okay, how often you can train per week, what your goal is, what your experience is, any injuries, how your body moves. There's so many things to consider when it comes to what your training split should be. Okay, so what the biggest mistakes I see. So when I see people, most of the time they pick their training split based on things they see on social media. So they may follow an influencer who does a certain training split. Normally they then say, download my training split and follow. And people do, which, is completely fine. However, if you really wanted to make progress, it's probably not the best bet. Okay. Also, what's trending online, they might see a viral TikTok of a person doing an exercise slightly different. Example being a chest press like this, when the whole machine is meant to be like that, but I digress. And then they'll try and do it, okay, again, which is normal, all right? And also potentially what you may be done in the past, okay? Maybe when you might be a 40-year-old man, what you did in the gym at 18, you may now think, I'll just do that again, okay? When in reality, A, you were a lot younger, and B, it might not have been the most efficient because back in those days, training was a little bit different and a little bit less thought out, shall we say, as it is to now. We should be asking is, like I said, what fits my week? What's my goal? What can I recover from? What can I progress from? So on and so forth. So when we look at the best training split, it's going to be the one that you can stick to, the one that's the most consistent, and also the one that you enjoy. Okay, because for me, training enjoyment leads to training adherence, which are going to be two of the biggest pillars. All right, one training program you can follow, you can progress with, and that you enjoy. It's not about the most hardcore one. You don't get a medal or a badge of honor for training 5-6 days a week doing 3-hour gym sessions. I think those days are long gone. So what do you want to consider instead? So let's go into it. What is your main goal at the moment with your training? Okay, are you wanting to go into the gym and get as strong as you can? Do you want to get strong on a dumbbell chest press? Do you want to get strong at pull-ups? Do you want to get strong at deadlift? Or just genuinely get strong? Okay, do you want to build muscle mass? Okay, because strength and building muscle are slightly different. Okay, if we're looking at all-out strength, we're not really focusing too much on the desired muscle we're trying to train. We're just looking to lift that weight. Okay, whereas building muscle is about thinking about mechanical tension, thinking about keeping time under tension as well. When we're training a certain muscle group, can we feel that muscle engage when we're obviously doing the exercise, so on and so forth. Okay, is it endurance? Are you wanting to do a marathon? Are you signing up for a half marathon? What is the main goal? All right, or is it a mixture of both? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want to build some endurance? Just feel healthier? So on and so forth, as I've said. How many quality sessions a week can you commit to? Not how many sessions can you commit to a week, but how many sessions can you commit to per week of quality? One thing I say with all my clients is if a week at work or life is super busy, what is a non-negotiable week for you? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? For most, it's probably 3 or 4 gym sessions per week. So that's what I would go off. I would focus off getting the most out of the least amount possible. I'm a huge advocate of training 3 or 4 days per week, as opposed to 5 or 6. Okay, A, from a quality perspective, B, from a recovery perspective, and also from an adherence perspective. Okay, which leads nicely, how much recovery time do you need? All right, if you're training 5, 6, 7 days a week in the gym, you're not training hard enough. Okay, and I will stand on that hill. I could not train more than 3 days in a row. If I've trained twice, 2 gym sessions back to back, I need that rest day. Because I'm training hard, I'm going to close proximity with failure, and I need that rest. Okay, I'm making sure I'm sleeping well, my nutrition's on point, I'm taking the rest days, I'm deloading if I need to. So these are other things you may want to ask yourself. And also, what's your training history? Are you brand new to the gym? Are you more advanced? If you're brand new to the gym, going in and doing, a 1 rep max deadlift or a 5 rep max back squat is probably not ideal. You're probably better off finding 3 gym sessions a week, sticking to some machines just to get used to the movements, and then progressing from there. Now, why your training split matters is going to be very important. Okay, how often you hit each muscle group is going to be one of the main drivers, frequency. Okay, so I am a huge advocate of trying to train each muscle group as frequent as possible, even legs. Okay. I would be training each muscle twice a week. That would be my main goal. Okay. So shoulders, chest, back, quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, bicep, triceps, at least twice a week. So having a training split that allows you to do that is what I would go with. How you recover between your sessions as well is going to be important. So if you're doing like an upper body on a Monday and then an upper body on a Tuesday, well, you haven't had enough time to recover. So you need to make sure you're splitting it correctly. And also, how easy is it to commit to? How often can you train? Do you enjoy your training? How does it work around your life? You need to find a training split that you enjoy, fits around your life, gets you close to the goal, and not the other way around. So let's go for example of a 3-day training split that you could follow. Okay, so I've just done this as a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You could do it as a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You could do it something along those lines. You could even do a Monday, Tuesday, because you're doing a push and a pull, and then a Thursday as an example. But if I was to do a full body training session, because you're training your full body, I'd want to rest in between. I'd want to rest day after. So full body push on a Monday, chest, shoulders, quadriceps, glutes, triceps, and calves. Okay, it sounds pretty extreme. However, you could do one exercise per muscle on there. You could do 2, dependent again on what your goal is, what you're trying to improve on. Okay, Wednesday, full body pull, back, hamstrings, rear delts, and biceps. So your pulling motion. And then Friday would be a combination of all of those. So you could do a chest movement, a quad movement, a hamstring, a back, shoulders, calves, bicep, triceps. Okay, as an example. A 4-day training split, you would follow something like an upper, lower, upper, lower. So upper body 1, maybe more push focused. Still got some pulling movements in there, but it's primarily push. Tuesday could be more of a hamstring focused leg day with some quads in as well. And then Thursday, Friday, you just swap that round. So Thursday, more pull bias with a little bit of push. Friday, more quad focus with a little bit of hamstrings, etc. So that could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday rest, Thursday, Friday. 5-day split. This would be very much specific to an individual who is really maybe quite advanced with training. Okay, for most people I work with, it's going to be a 3 or 4 day training split, and that's what I would recommend. However, if you were someone that is really wanting to commit, you may be already following a 5-day training split and it's something you want to continue with, then I would be going along the lines of something like a push, pull, legs, rest, upper, lower. Or you could even do push, pull, rest, legs, upper, rest, legs, rest. Yeah, having a rest after 2 days. That's what you could look to do. But again, I would go with a 3 or 4 day training split. But again, it depends on your goal, what you enjoy, and where you're currently at. Now, what are a few signs that you are potentially following or you've chosen the wrong training split? I should have rephrased that, because there's no such thing as a wrong split, but there are things to consider. Okay, if you're constantly sore or fatigued, probably not the one. If you're skipping sessions because enjoyment is low, probably not the one. Progress has stalled and you're not seeing improvements, again, may need to reconsider. Training just feels like a chore. Again, I've been there. Sometimes my training has felt like a chore in the past, mainly due to the fact of it not being my main focus, because I've been prioritizing other things like my endurance. However, again, I've noticed this happen. So again, look into it. If it sounds like you, this does, reduce your volume, change up your frequency as well, or just change how you set up your week with your gym. Now, how you could go about the signs that you've chosen the wrong training split. In terms of if you've known you're training the right one, it'd obviously be the opposite. It would be you're feeling well recovered, your enjoyment for your training session is through the roof, you're making progress each week, and your love for training is, like I say, 100 out of 100. So that would be the opposite to this slide. Now, if you're not sure with training programs and you want to know more in terms of, right, how do I do a 3-day split? How do I do a 4-day split? What were the exercises, the sets, the reps, I've got you covered. I've got a free training guide in the description where it shows everything about how to go about setting up your training program, setting up your training split, whether it is a mixture of strength and endurance, more strength focused, more endurance focused, all in the description below. You just need to click the link, pop your email address in, and you'll receive the guide. Okay. And apart from that, hopefully you could have learned a little bit, took a few bits away from this to go, okay, this is what I need to do, or I need to change this, or maybe I should do this instead. But if you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.